Hi, this is Steve Aul, the Aul Financial Group. Wanted to welcome everybody to the February 26, 2025 Town Hall meeting. We missed one a while back due to the inclement weather here in St. Louis. I do not like the fact that St. Louis, Missouri has got more snow than Minneapolis. That's not supposed to happen that way. They're supposed to get the cold weather and the snow. So we'll go ahead and go from there. Markets up, markets down over the last couple of weeks. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn over the first part of tonight's session. Mel, why don't you go ahead and go first, my friend?
All right, happy to do so. This is a little different for me. Obviously, the plans have changed coming to the Aul Financial Group, and there's a lot of things that you might want to know about what the future might hold. And we have a really good plan to make sure everyone is well taken care of. But my topic today is a little different. I actually thought of something. I don't know if this is a reverberation from something I read or saw or heard, but it's just something that popped into my mind. I heard somebody talking about confidence, and I thought of a phrase that I kind of like a little bit. It says, okay, if I can get it right here, because I kind of made this up on the fly today. Um, Confidence without competence is very, very dangerous. Competence without confidence is a little bit useless to you. Competence backed with excuse me, I'll say that again. Competence that is backed with confidence is definitely something you want to be working with. It kind of led me from a client that we were doing a review with, and we were talking about there were a lot of competent people that they had dealt with over their lives, but the abilities and the understanding and the planning structure that we bring to our clients was completely different. So there are a lot of people out there that are very competent in managing your money. They may or may not be confident in their ability to manage it well. But there's a whole different sector, and the knowledge base that is required to do true planning for the future is way, way, way broader and deeper than just investing. Obviously, it's super important that you have the right mix of assets. One of the things that we like to talk about is, cookies in retirement, and a book that Brad Jenkins wrote, and it's talking about if you were making chocolate chip cookies like Grandma used to make or your mom, what would be the very first thing you would do? You'd want a recipe. You'd want some kind of guidebook saying that you mix this item with this item and this item in this order, and then you bake it or cook it at this particular temperature for this particular time. So you would have a recipe. Steve and I have always called that the blueprint. When you're talking about building out a plan, you first have to have some idea where you're going. And you have to have a lot of competence in a lot of different areas, from a tax angle, from a life planning, long-term care, income structures, which item to spend in what order. So you have to have the recipe. Now, once you have the recipe, you have to have the ingredients. And one of the things that Brad talks about is that when it comes to what makes a successful financial plan, what over time, what plays into that? What's the recipe? Well, what it came down to, that was about 94% of the success of a good investment portfolio was all about the ingredients, having the right mix of product, the right mix of investments over time. And the other 6% was basically divided up between timing, trend analysis, picking the hot topics. It was 3 or 4 other different things that I've forgotten most of them, quite honestly, because the thing that really stuck and made a lot of sense is having the right mix. We've dealt with a lot of different money managers over the 15 years that Steve and I worked together. And quite honestly, all of them talked a good game, but not all of them really did the game properly and had the right mix and the right attitudes and the right structure and the ability to adjust risk according to how things are going, and put the mix of product together to give you the best ingredients with a good recipe. And then you want to be able to follow that recipe, because Brad talks about being methodical, mathematical, and non-emotional. Those are the three topics that come up constantly. Because if you're emotional about, Steve and I were talking about this today, someone in particular, we're having a conversation about that you buy on emotion, you sell on emotion, and 9 times out of 10, you'll get it wrong. It's just not going to work out in the long run. But having a good recipe, and you follow the recipe, and you have the right ingredients, and you put them in the right proportions. Just because you have the chocolate and the flour and the sugar and all that, if you put 10 pounds of sugar and 3 chocolate chips and a gallon of milk, that's not going to work. So you have to have the right ingredients, but in the right proportions. So that is 94% of the success of a good portfolio. And then you have to decide how much risk you want to take within that. And the way Brad talks about it is, well, some people like their cookies nice and gooey and just barely cooked, and other people like them a little crispy where they can dip them in the milk or whatever. So that's a preference. How much risk, how much aggression do you want to put into? So you can have a good recipe, you can have all the right ingredients, you can put them in the right proportions, but now you still got to cook it. Do I put it on a higher temperature or the same temperature for longer? And then now I'm doing this as an equation of, or to equate to how much risk you want to take. So having the recipe, having the right ingredients in the right proportions, and then what's the result you're looking for? That's what I'm trying to get to about how you like your cookies. You have to have those things in mind in order to design a portfolio that will fit that. And then it has to be monitored constantly. Somebody's got to check the oven to make sure the cookies aren't cooking too fast or too slow. So there has to be a cook involved. Well, that's Steve from now on. He's your cook. And the idea is to make sure that the recipe is being followed in the right proportions and is being cooked at the right temperature to get the correct result. And all these metaphors and allegories and analogies and stuff is really just another way of explaining the concept, because we try to put the right models in the right proportions for the right client to achieve the expected results over the period of time. And then it's constantly being monitored and adjusted and reviewed with you on a regular basis. So all that leads me back to the original topic of, you have to have the confidence, but you have to have the competence to go with it. We're very confident of the Market Guard program. We're very confident of the annuity structures and life insurance products that we've used over all these years. You have to have the competence and the confidence, and we have both those in spades as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully you would agree with us. And we have those in all of the different structures that we like to offer and the plans that we put together for you. So I just want to thank you guys for all the time that we've had together all these years. And my last day is March 28th. It's coming up fairly soon. And hopefully you guys will be able to make it out to the 14th of March on the Friday, where we're having an open house here. And if you have any questions or issues you want to discuss with me during that time, feel free. Otherwise, just call Will.
All right. Thank you very much there, Mel. Will, are you ready to go next?
Yes, I well, yeah, following Mel, please give me a call for sure. We'll talk about absolutely everything. I wanted to talk about something that is, Stevie will talk about it. Mel just did uncertainty, right? Again, we try to do that, and every single time clients speak to us or talk to us about something, we always try to stay neutral, right? We do not try to take sides. Whoever is dealing with the government budget right now, we just adapt, right? So it's probably a lot of topics going on every single day for couples going to retirement, right? For example, in my household too, we're talking a lot about it because it may affect our future too. But it's a topic that you have to talk to your partner. Right? You think different stuff, but at the end of the day, with a better communication, you prepare for what is going to happen, because we don't know yet what's going to happen. So I'm just going to list you the topics, and I will suggest action plans for you to be prepared And also it will help you in case whenever you come for any type of review or you talk with a friend, right? Just tell them, do you have an action plan? Do you know what to do next? Are you prepared? How are you dealing with this? So the first one is that employment stability, right? Dutch, they start cutting a lot of people in federal agencies, leading to mass layoffs. Um, that's a problem that is affecting every single individual, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, people that are about to retire, people that have been working after retirement, they have to get laid off. An action step: assess job security, assess what are you doing right now, like how it's affecting you. It's like most of your income is coming through this channel to support your family. What to do, right? It will be better to start going to the private sector, right? It's a lot of competition. How do I prepare myself? How I am a value to other people, to other companies, to be able to be successful. Explore additional income streams. I love that. I have been doing that for many, many years, right? I love my job. I love to be talking to clients, deal with like planning, but also I do things on the side. I related things what I do with rugby. Like I deal with websites, I deal with cars, and I always is something income coming through every single way possible. I will suggest you to do the same. You are really good at something, put a value on it, and you may be able to get some income to help you through some bad times. The next one will be financial planning and emergency preparedness, right? With all the tariffs, with all the changes right now, market is going up and down over and over and over. Create an emergency budget, right? We deal with the clients that they do have different types of emergency budgets. They do have savings accounts. They do have money markets. Some of them have HELOCs, right? What is a HELOC? Come talk to us. We will talk about it, right? There are different tools for emergencies, but is to know how to use it in the proper way. Establish an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months is usually, that's my banking brain. I will tell you, I said that to a lot of people. Whatever you make a month, you save that in the 6-month period. That's your emergency fund, because usually if you're out of job, it takes around 3 to 6 months for you to come back to work or to create another income stream. Invest on retirement planning. Again, with all the political climate, there's a lot of volatility with that. Diversified investments, what Mel was talking about, right? Market guard. We have the static portfolio, we have the target portfolio, dynamic, we have a stock, we have the structure notes. We have a lot of different tools for us to be able to go against the market and be prepared for these volatile times. Have regular portfolio reviews, right? So if you didn't hear from your guy in X company, now is the time to go and give him a call, give her a call, say, hey, what is going on? I didn't hear from you. What do you think about all this going on? What are you guys doing? Whenever you come here, this is one of the many questions that we have. It's like, what are you guys doing? What is Market Guard doing or preparing for all these? And we show every single tool that we have to be able to go against this type of times. Tax planning, legal considerations, right? There could be policy changes, tax cuts. What are the action steps? Stay informed on tax legislations, right? Your client, talk to us. The tax experts right there. Well, I guess I cannot say that, but someone that we talk to about taxes is right here. We can talk to you about it, right? Consult your CPA. Talk to this person. If you believe you can do your taxes on your own, be careful, make an informed decision. Talk to somebody else. So probably this is the times that you need a professional that look over your taxes if your taxes are something complex for you. So it's something to be to take in consideration. Healthcare and insurance, that's a big one right now for all our clients. Review your health insurance plans, right? We do have a referral right here that we always talk with, right? You can give us a call. We can give you his number. Talk to your expert, like what is going on. Will be better to stay in this plan if I can change in this plan. I think I was talking with Mel that because we live in this zone in Missouri, I think he was able to look and see he changed his plan before October. So you may be lucky and get this type of access for you if you need to review and change your health insurance, right? Consider supplemental insurance. Look at it, be informed, start talking with your expert about it. Estate planning and asset protection, right? Protect your family wealth, protect your assets, update your wills, update your trusts. Usually we tell clients between 3 to 5 years is the time that you need to review your will and trust. A lot of things change, a lot of laws change. So you have to be able to take that in consideration. Every 3 to 5 years, you need to review your wills and your trust. Then communication, right? Financial transparency. Talk to your partner, talk to your person. What is going on? How can we control things in the household? Do we need to review our budget, right? Our investments, like, do we need to set up goals, right? Do we need to reduce our expenses? All that is communication with you and your partner, with you and your family, with you and the experts that are helping you right now. So take these steps in consideration, right? Especially right now, it's better to be prepared. And if you need anything, please let us know. You can call me or Steve, and we will be able to help. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate that. Now it's Steve's turn. The markets. It's funny as we start to look at markets over time. Let's take a reflection back about 2 years ago. The market had just fallen from 21. And we were looking down there in that September to October time. And a lot of people, they're looking at their portfolios and they're going, oh my God, maybe the markets aren't right for me. Should I shift? And then markets start to shift. So what I'm going to talk about is the emotional roller coaster, because we've had a couple big ones, 2000 and 2009. And usually when those markets get down to the bottom, it's when people start to get depressed or they get, this maybe I shouldn't do. What happens when emotions override? That's when people sell. What happens after that? The markets start to recover. Hope comes back. Relief kicks in. Optimism shows up. Now let's go back to June or July of last year, when the markets were very choppy because we had an election coming up and we weren't really sure which way it was going to go. And then once the election got decided, those that were in favor of who won, euphoria hit it. Wow, everything's going to get great. Those that weren't happy about the election results, gloom and doom was on the horizons. So emotions are kicking in there. Should I sell? Should I buy? And then we had the Trump bump. So we got to get that thrill. Then we're in that euphoric stage. Now, the last 5 days, the market has basically been in a negative direction. Not a deep dive like during the pandemic, but it's been negative in nature. And I've had a couple of those phone calls from the people that are questioning where they should be in the market, because that anxiety starts to kick in, that emotional roller coaster. And that's where we put it to the point. One of the worst things for your investment returns are emotions. And I think Mel put it best. I mean, it was like, wow, what a tee up. Thank you, Mel. When we start to look at those things, when we go to the market guard idea is, I want that non-emotional, methodical, mathematical approach to my investments because that keeps those emotions out of it. I always like to say, I ask that question on a normal basis to people. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you can't pick 5, 1, I'm very conservative, 10, I'm very aggressive, which do you pick? It depends on what the markets are currently doing as into where those answers usually come back. If the markets are very high, I get a lot more 6, 7s, and 8s. If the markets are really down, I get a lot more 4s and 5s. So we allow that to kick in, and it does hurt your returns when we start moving in and away based on emotions. That's what I love about the fact that that non-emotional, methodical, mathematical approach, we can go with portfolios that are fairly well static. We'll only adjust for drift. And then we can go completely defensive. You know, it's kind of like coming down the road and you got the curly road sign. I can slow down a little bit. If it gets real, I can take it back even a little bit lower. So the idea around of it is allowing us to assist you to figure out where you're at in that process and how we can help remove some of those emotional decisions. We do our reviews. New clients are usually on the quarterly basis. Then some are at semi-annual and some are at annual. If you're not in that quarterly and you've got questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. You know, because that's that phone call that we have to make on occasions when we have somebody that's getting ready to make an emotional decision. And I believe it is our responsibility to help walk you through those emotions so that you don't make a decision that we believe is detrimental to you in retirement. So that emotional roller coaster, remember, we get euphoric. Everything's wonderful. That's when your financials are most at risk. When we get to the bottom and we're ready to sell, that is the time that's best to buy. It's the greatest amount of financial success. So it's completely opposite of the way that we want to think. So markets are going to go up, they're going to go down, or they're going to stay the same. You have to be prepared for all of those when it comes into the investment world. And that's where I believe we're here to help you. We do have some events coming up. March the 4th through the 6th, we have a taxes in retirement out at St. Peter's, Cooper's Hawk. You have to call to get a reservation for the restaurant. Mel mentioned it earlier. On March the 14th, we are having a kind of a go-away client appreciation event here at the office. Slight hors d'oeuvres, a few adult beverages. Please, RSVPs are not required, but they are recommended for this. I would like to have a better count on how many people are going to be there. And then mark your calendar on March the 23rd and the 27th. We also have Fleming's, a dinner presentation, taxes in retirement. So if you'd like to attend any of those, please give the office a call. You have to make a reservation before you can get into those dinner events. Again, I want to thank everybody out there. You know, the beginning of 2025, it's hard to believe that it's already into February already. 2025, it's from the referral of family and friends. Why? Because we like doing business with people like you. So I want to say thank you for everybody for being a part of our family.